By now, students should be familiar with surface area and nets. But how exactly do we find volume? I will start by introducing a sheet like this in a projector. That way all students can see it. And I will start asking students questions like, how exactly do we find the volume? I will be giving them a minute or 45 seconds to do think, pair, and share. And after the time's up, I will be calling students to share their ideas, or they can volunteer on their own. As students are sharing their ideas, I will simply be writing them down on the wall or just right next to it, like on the board. And I would not be telling students, oh, you know what, like, yes, Juanito, you're right, or yes, Natalie, you're wrong, So I would just be telling students, okay, does anyone have any more ideas? I will just be simply writing them down on the side. And as we do the next activities, we'll be trying out those formulas that the students gave, or those ideas that they've been given. That way we find out, like, all together as a class, we find out the correct formula to find volume. We might have students that just must say, oh, let's count all the squares. But I mean, we really don't want to count all the squares. This is not like area. One of the activities I will be doing, a hands-on activity, is marshmallow volume. This activity could more or less take up to 10 minutes. And what this activity consists of is pretty much giving the students marshmallows. This can be done alone, as pairs, or as a group, just depending on how many materials the teacher has and also how big the classroom is. So we would start by giving the students marshmallows and also giving them different task cards, kind of like the ones similar on this side. This task cards can say, using 6 marshmallows, create a 1-level rectangular prism. So students will be creating a rectangular prism of just 1 level with their marshmallows. Or they can just be a little bit more, like another one, 2-level rectangular prism. It all just depends on the task card they'll be getting. There, they will start seeing an idea of how exactly they're getting it. And then on the task card on the bottom, it says, what is the length, the width, and the height of the rectangular prism? So at this point, students should be like, oh, okay, like, I mean, we see that we find the volume by pretty much counting the length, the width, and the height of these marshmallows. So we would start writing down the formula, and we would start saying, okay, like, those ideas on the board are wrong, or maybe someone got it right. Another activity that I had thought about and that I think will be really fun, it's a scavenger hunt. So pretty much the scavenger hunt can be done in many different ways. We can be given like the one I'll be giving. We just give the students a worksheet and with different objects. The objects can be all around the classroom, or we can simply make it easier for them and just put it up in their desk. And pretty much all they have to do is they have to write the object, the length, the width, the height, in order to find the volume. They can use objects as the ones on this slide. Can be any type of boxes or just any type of objects the teacher wants to bring. Like I said, this can be already provided, or on this worksheet the teacher can already give them the length or the height, or have one missing, and students have to figure out what the object is and what the volume is, or the missing number or measurement. Lastly, what I had in mind for an assignment for the students to take home is pretty much doing something like on the right side, and this can be modified depending on the grade, and the teacher can either add more or just remove some of the problems. So pretty much all students have to do is find the volume of the shapes, and then on the side they would just have to write down the answer. An exit ticket that I thought about as for closure is giving the students something similar to this one. Pretty much one of the shapes can be with a grid, and then in the other shapes they just have the measurements. That way they're familiar with both types, like when they have a grid paper and when they don't have a grid paper. And they have to write them down with the actual cubic units. They cannot just put the number, oh, it's 24. No, they have to put 24 cubic units, because using the correct measurements and the correct numbers is always important while doing math.